What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor. Last week, I made a video celebrating getting to over 600 followers. Once again, thank you all so much. And if you like the content I put out, please like, share, and follow. I really do love and appreciate y'all. And to celebrate that, I gave the floor to you all in suggesting a top 10 to make. Shout out to my boy Neophyte Reviews. If you're not already following him, please give him a like and a follow. He also makes great content. But he left a comment asking me to make my top 10 favorite superhero films, which I'm always up for that. I love superhero movies, but I gotta admit, it's been a little over a week since I made that video, and yeah, this one is one of the top 10s that is just hard for me to decide because there have been so many. It was just hard for me to pick a couple. Granted, there are a few that were a no-brainer to me. But it was also hard for me because, look, I love both Marvel and DC equally, but I lean more towards Marvel. They're the ones that I grew up with the most. My love for DC mainly stems from Batman. Plus, let's be honest, Marvel's track record of making good movies is a lot bigger than DC's. Plus, let's be honest, DC only has but so many movies not named Batman or Superman, let alone good ones. But I say all that because if you go through this list and see that it's more so Marvel movies than DC movies, that's why. That's just how I feel. All I ask is that you be respectful. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Now, my number 10 and number 9 are movies that I love mainly because they're the movies when I watched for the first time, they altered my brain chemistry. But coming in at number 10 is The Punisher from 2004 with Thomas Jane as the title character. All due respect to all the other Punisher actors, they all did a fantastic job. Rest in peace to Ray Stevenson and especially John Bernthal. He does an excellent job with this character within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But to me, this was my first introduction to this character, and it told me everything I needed to know. And I just loved the whole revenge aspect. You killed my whole family. Ouch. All right, you're all dead. This movie taught me that heroes don't always have to be big blue Boy Scouts. They can also be morally gray and do what is necessary. Coming in at number 9 is Watchmen, specifically the director's cut, directed by Zack Snyder. And more than The Punisher, this one particularly changed my brain chemistry. I remember the first time I saw it, I was not expecting this to be what it was, and I absolutely loved it. This movie to me pretty much changed how I view superhero movies. I even liked this movie to the point that when I saw it for the first time back when I was in high school, I went and bought the original graphic novel. I loved it, and yeah, I agree the graphic novel is better, but I think the movie is just equally better. To me, Watchmen is easily one of Zack Snyder's best movies. Now, at number 8 is a tie because I honestly could not decide which X-Men movie I like more between X2 or X-Men Days of Future Past. Well, basically, I have this whole box set collection which has all the mainline X-Men movies and the Wolverine, I believe, and then I have both cuts of Days of Future Past. But yeah, I wanted to include at least one mainline X-Men film in there, but I honestly couldn't decide between X2 and Days of Future Past. I love both of these movies for different reasons, and they both have the same amount of positives that make it stand out amongst other X-Men films. So I include both of them as a tie because both these movies give me what I want from an X-Men movie. Coming in at number 7 is a standalone X-Men movie, and that is Logan. To me, this isn't just a good superhero movie, it's just a good movie, period. To me, this movie does what I would like most superhero movies to do, which is blend genres together. And in the case of Logan, it was a dark western, and it sent my boy off into the sunset, at least at the time. But such a beautiful, heartbreaking film right here. Coming in at number 6 is a movie from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. But which one? The original Spider-Man from 2002, directed by Sam Raimi and starring Tobey Maguire. If you watch my video ranking every Spider-Man movie, you know how much this movie means to me. Like, one of my fondest memories of my late father was when he took me to a midnight showing of this movie because he was a Spider-Man fan himself, and this movie was one of the movies that inspired me to get into filmmaking, and just a good comic book adaptation, at least for me. Yeah, it has some elements that don't quite hold up, but still, you just had to be there when this movie came out, and so yeah, I'm letting nostalgia win on this one, but overall, on its own, it still holds up, at least to me it does. Coming in at number 5 is the only Avengers movie, and that is Avengers Infinity War. Did I say Infinity War? I mean Infinity War. But yeah, bruh, this is my favorite Avengers movie. More than the first Avengers, more than Age of Ultron, and even more than Endgame. Movies like this are why Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. I love seeing the heroes fail because it makes their eventual victory in the next movie that much more worth it. But it all started here. To me, this was the first part of a culmination of 10 years worth of movies. Thanos kicks ass, and seeing all these heroes interact for the first time. At number 4, hey, I had to represent the first Black Panther movie. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda Forever. But yeah, bro, I fucking love this movie. Like the original Spider-Man movie, it truly was one of those you had to be there type of moments. This was a cultural event, but on top of that, it was still a phenomenal film. Like I said, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. He did excellent. Academy Award winner Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger steals the show. As a black man, as a black nerd, as a comic book fan, and just a film fan as well, no words can explain how much this movie means to me. At number 3 is my favorite MCU movie, and that is Captain America Civil War. More than any of the Avengers films, and even more than Black Panther, this is my favorite because to me, it did so many things right. It divided the Avengers. It introduced new characters like Black Panther, that airport fight scene, one of the best the MCU has ever given us, but also that end fight where we get the twist that Bucky was the one that killed Tony Stark's parents, unknowingly, by the way, and then how that further divided the Avengers, and of course the whole conversation with the Accords, that further divided the Avengers. Like, every time I rewatch this movie, I'm reminded how much I love it and how brilliant I think it is. Like I just said, this is my number 1 favorite within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and until something comes out that convinces me otherwise, which I highly doubt, it will probably never be topped. Now, earlier I said my number 10 and 9 are movies that alter my brain chemistry, and then everything from 8 up until 3, I think are just phenomenal superhero and comic book adaptations. But my top 2, I also love for the same reasons, but I also consider them like, that is elite. But coming in at number 2 is another Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. But which one? You probably know which one it is. And if you guessed Spider-Man 2, you guessed correctly. I love the original Spider-Man, but to me, Spider-Man 2 is the best of that trilogy and just the best Spider-Man movie, period. This was a character piece, but also gave us spectacular Spider-Man action. Spider-Man Brand New Day pretty much took some inspiration from this movie. I just love the journey that Peter Parker and Spider-Man took throughout this movie, that when we get to the end and Mary Jane, she goes to him and just those words, "Isn't it about time someone saved your life for once?" Man tears, man. Spider-Man's one of my favorite superheroes of all time, so of course one of his movies had to be in the top 2. But coming in at number 1 is not a Marvel movie, it's actually a DC movie, and that is The Dark Knight. Yeah, of course a Batman movie had to be number 1, and is it a cliche choice? Yes, but it is the right choice. To me, like the original Spider-Man, it was also one of those you just had to be there type of moments. Like, this is also a phenomenal film. It's not just a good superhero movie, but it's a good film, period. It's one of the best Batman films, one of the best portrayals of the Joker by Heath Ledger, rest in peace. It's one of Christopher Nolan's best. And like Watchmen and The Punisher, to me, this movie altered my brain chemistry because it showed what a superhero and comic book movie can also be and how it just blended genres. It was a Batman movie, but under the surface, it was also a crime thriller. To me, this movie spoke to me on so many levels. It spoke to me on a philosophical level through the Joker, and it also spoke to me not just as a fan of superheroes, but as a fan of movies, and that's why The Dark Knight is at number 1. So those are my top 10 favorite superhero movies of all time. Here's a quick recap. It's on my Letterboxd. Check it out at Lassiter Factor. And also, here is a list of honorable mentions that I also love but didn't quite make the cut. Thank y'all so much for watching. Do you agree with this ranking? Do you disagree? What are your top 10 favorite superhero movies of all time? Let me know in the comment section below. And once again, thank you to all the 608 people that follow this channel. Let's keep this going. If you like what I put out, share with other people. Let's get to 700. This is your boy Bankful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Peace.